And we are live, and the doors of the sanctum have been unlocked and open for the week. Welcome, everyone, back to the Sanctum Sanctorum. I am your illustrious host, Widow's Son. With me is one of my awesome co hosts, The Wanderer. We're not quite sure where Stew Dog is, and Doc will not be here today. Q may be popping in just a little while, but we will bring them in as they appear. Uh, and we are also joined by the one, the only, my YouTube mentor, Sir Hatman. Today, it is always a honor and a privilege to have him come on and join us. Mentor, welcome.
Greetings, my young apprentice.
How goes life on the other side of the pond, as it were?
Hot, fiery,
Just how you like it.
just how it should be.
Well, you get air conditioning, so you can.
No, we don't. We don't have. It's not very common over here.
Bonk is here. What's going on? But yes, so we here we are back for this week's episode, and we're gonna be digging into some interesting things that have been happening around the platform this week. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that thumbs up for us, like the stream, share the stream. Really helps us out. We appreciate all the support. If you haven't already, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, get the notification bell on for us. Come and join us every week. We always have a good time. And what we're going to do is we're also going to go ahead and we're going to give a big shout out to our boys over at the Geek Room, Frank, Brand, and yes, even you, Billy. Love you guys. If you haven't already subscribed to them, go show them some love, give them some support. Great bunch of guys. We love having them on. And of course, as always, subscribe to my awesome co-host, The Wanderer. He's got a big project coming up, which we'll be talking about later. And please go and show some love to my mentor here, Sir Hatman. Hit that subscribe button definitely for him, and watch the man's content because it's absolutely brilliant. So and Wanderer, I know you need to get caught up, but Mentor, it's been an interesting week or so on the platform, wouldn't you say?
Oh, that's a definite. I mean, no, did I make a triumphant return? When was it? Was it last week I came back, or?
Yeah. When I saw that you had put a video up, I was like, "Holy hell!" He has apparently felt the need to come out of retirement for all of this chaos.
Yeah.
So.
I did 2 live streams last weekend, including one all-nighter.
Oh yeah, I know, because when I got to work, I popped in and I'm like, holy shit, he's been streaming for 8 hours, and then I saw the sun was up, and I'm just like, that's the first time I think I've seen you in the daylight. So
it does happen occasionally.
I'll just pop in, But first of all, and I know. Hatman knows quite a little bit about the TOS and everything better than I do, and hopefully Stew Dog will be here at some point, and we can certainly ask him about this as well. But now, for those of you who are not aware, Shani's channels got pulled down, and I have been watching it. I've been watching it through the Geek Room and Jules. Stuff like that. And sadly I've give her views, but I've now learned not to do that, but of course now we don't have to worry about it. Mentor, I will since you kind of keep a closer finger on the pulse, as it were, about all of this, can you fill in the audience about kind of what has been going on the last 4 or 5 days?
Might take 4 or 5 days to cover it. Okay, so
we don't need the Bible. Just give us a few chapters,
Yeah. Short version. Oh boy. Okay, so Rev and Shani got evicted the end of last week. They took themselves on a little road trip across country, about 2,000 miles to their new home, and decided they were going to live stream pretty much the entire thing. During the course of that, Rev lost his cool several times and directed his hostility towards the youngest child, who is autistic. Several derogatory and generally insulting terms, most things that you probably shouldn't be saying to a kid. especially when it's not your kid at the end of the day. So anyway, they eventually got there, but by this time, more and more people were then going back over these live streams, the clips, and it started to go viral. And Business Insider picked it up a couple of days ago. They got onto YouTube, and the end result of that is that YouTube finally, despite hundreds, maybe thousands of people reporting this, decided they were going to act on it because the mainstream got a hold of it. Ignore all the other creators who are actually tracking this. Yeah, they don't matter. But someone in the press, yeah, we better do something about this. So yeah, cover their own asses.
Indeed.
But yeah, it was they flagged it for. I don't think they said specifically, at least not to the public, what they flagged them for. They just put on a generic violated communities terms of service, the generic disclaimer on the video or channel, I think, is what they put down. But I think it's a pretty surefire bet that it was terminated on the basis of violating in terms of child welfare or child endangerment or something in that general sub paragraph of the TOS.
Now, Frank and Bran had both done videos about all of this, and I saw Frank's and I watched Bran's, but they each lost a video because they were actually pointing out what was being done. And from what I understand, the videos were removed. They appealed it, and Shani had that one taken down, and then she appealed it and got hers back. But they won't give Frank and Bran theirs back.
Yeah.
Which that raised some definite red flags for me about all of this, because
that's basically YouTube themselves screwing up. It's that simple. Despite them saying they review any videos which are flagged and stuff like that, there's no way they can do it. It's the algorithm. If you flag a video, I don't know exactly how it works, but I'm convinced it's certain keywords when you report something triggers the algorithm. Certain timestamps trigger the algorithm. If it matches, it flags it. If it doesn't flag it. That's why so many videos stay on. And they must have done that with Shani's. And it's gotten flagged. It's been taken down off the algorithm. She's appealed it, and then someone's done a manual review. Now that stream, if I remember rightly, was about was it 3 or 4 hours long?
I think it was maybe just about 4 or just over 4.
Yeah. So nobody has sat and watched that video at YouTube. No way. They've probably jumped in round about the timestamp. They've maybe skimmed a few seconds before or after. They've not picked up one and just thought, oh, well, there's nothing there. So they've just reinstated it. I didn't see Bran, so I don't know what his ran like, but I did see Frank's. And I think because his was more concise, it was easy to identify with his. But I think possibly may have shot himself in the foot as well, because probably Shani's fans were also reporting him because of his reaction, which was quite emotional.
Indeed.
So that can backfire.
Right. I will say this, because like I said, I watched both of them, but I watched Frank's twice, and he was livid. Like, you could seriously hear his blood boiling in his voice. And I reached out to him on Discord, and I told him and I commented on the video that his anger and his rage were completely justified. Definitely YouTube dropped the ball on that one. That's like, being right there at the goal, going to kick, and it, looks like it's going to go in, and it hits goal post, something like that. Definitely a ball drop. But once they figured it out that they had dropped the ball, I think they should have given them their videos back. That would have been the fair thing to do, in my opinion.
Yeah, but once they flag down Shani's video, then that's it. If that material's then transposed into something else, it kind of becomes, well, Do you do it or not? But then again, it should be because it's been transformed. It's commentary, but I don't know. It gets difficult because if you leave it up, if you take down the original source material, but you've still got it available for other people commenting on it, you can say, well, okay, yes, it's transformative, but at the same time, it's kind of propagating the same clip which caused the problems in the first place. But
Right.
then those clips are also potentially used for genuine news articles and genuine commentary. Now, I've got an archive channel stashed away which has all manner of interesting videos from various people over the years: Jared Genesis, Sunday stuff, Face Primarina, all that malarkey.
If and I've been meaning to tell you that if you would like, for the people that are in my Discord, if you would like to post the link to your vault of horrors, please feel free to, or if you'd like to put it in the side chat, please feel free to do so.
Yeah, I'm keeping that very closed, mostly because some weird stuff happened because all the videos in there were unlisted, and I hadn't shared links, but they were still cropping and collecting views. So it's like, okay, why is this getting 50 or 60 views a week when it's not listed and there's no links to it anywhere? There's no way people in my server are watching it 60 times. But anyway, there was a similar sort of issue because I was getting videos flagged in that were from Jared's channels, for instance, and they were perfectly happy, perfectly just sat there. No one touched them on Jared's channels, and they were still there, but mine were getting flagged and hit with community strikes. And so I go into private and then unprivate the channel just to avoid them constantly getting hit. It's
Uh,
definitely something in YouTube's algorithms is screwed up.
well, but I mean, I mean, people downloaded that. I mean, there's copies everywhere, but those copies of everything I'm sure, have stayed up. But it's to me, I mean, just them pointing all this out. I mean, that's the whole idea of it is not fair whatsoever.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I've still got that stream set on the archive channel. It's unlisted, of course, so it's quite safe there at the moment. It's not been flagged. It's not been picked up by the bots or anything. So it's just sat there. It's not doing anything. But I've got it offline if anything does happen to it. And if it does, I'll just private the channel again. I'll have no choice until the strikes drop off.
Wanderer, I get the feeling you may have some questions.
Not questions, but just kind of more something to add. YouTube fucking up is a very common practice, and usually if you rile up enough fucking anger about it,
Stu Dog has appeared. The link is in your DM, sir. Please come and join us. We could use your knowledge, please.
if you piss your pants about it on like social media and like ping them saying, "Yo, you fucked up here," then usually they'll revert the stuff, especially if it's getting a lot of traction. But most of the time, those mistakes go completely unhindered, and YouTube wins in that case. And whoever your opponent is, whoever's like trying to drag you the fuck down, wins. And it's a really sucky situation. But if somebody has had their video that is of a very similar substance to another taken down, and somebody else has been taken down, and like I said before, they're very similar in substance, but one's put back up and the other one isn't, you really need to start speaking about that and posting it on social media, paying Team YouTube, and just doing anything you can to get that video back up, no matter what the cost. Because then you're just kind of letting a mistake go idly by, and then it's on you. Especially if it's a false flag. Bless you.
You, Hatman, reply.
I've tagged Team YouTube on Twitter so many times, and sometimes they come back and they'll do whatever. But they're like, it's just inevitable. The appeals process is blah blah blah. You appeal, it's like denied, and then you tag them as like, yeah, we reviewed it. It's denied. Like, really, seriously.
You see, that's when it gets a bit tricky. I can't really give you an answer to how or why that would be happening, especially if it was, say like a false claim or like a mass report or something. I think Stu Dog did a video recently. I haven't got around to watching it yet, but he did a video basically talking about the amount of flags that it would require for a video just to automatically get taken down and for YouTube not to look into it, I think. I think that was the premise of the video. If he hops in here, then he'd be able to explain it better than I could. But I think there is a certain, say if you've got like hundreds of people in a short space of time flagging your video, I think YouTube are going to take a look at that, not only because they might think, oh, this video might be bad, but they might also think that's suspicious, and they might think it's like a mass flag, and they'll definitely take a look into that. Apart from that, I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure about the flagging process and shit like that.
Which then feeds into like destroying Shani's argument, which he keeps saying, "Oh, it's been false flagged. It's false flagged." Okay, it's moving mass flagged, but doesn't mean it's being false flagged. I was like, yeah, if it's being mass flagged, and they look at it, think, okay, there is actually something here. They're going to take it down. If you mass flag something, there's nothing wrong, but chances are they're not going to take it down.
Yeah.
Well, now there were there was one stream. I think it was the first stream that I did when I moved into my new apartment. Doc showed some, we played some reaction videos to like some wrestling stuff, and the algorithm caught it, and they basically sent me I guess copyright claims or something, and here is the man with all the knowledge right here. Hello, Sir Stew Dog.
Howdy, dog.
Stew.
We cannot hear you, sir.
Is that Morse code? Is he trapped in the bathroom again?
Turn the lock, Stew Dog. Turn the lock.
Oh,
you still not hear me?
Oh, we can hear you now. There he is.
Fucking microphone, man.
Hey up, man.
Okay, so Stew Dog, I'm glad that you are here.
I just woke up.
I fucking knew it. I told you he was probably sleeping.
Yeah, I've still got like this fucking rundown fever, fucking shite from this fucking junk that they put in my arm.
I feel the exact same, but minus the vaccine stuff. I've just got terrible hay fever.
Ah, that sounds like hell.
Oh,
what did I miss?
Proof medicine will be along next week.
Do you want to fill him in with us?
Yeah. So, Stew Dog, I'm glad that you finally joined us because we need your TOS knowledge. Interesting week on the platform. Shani has lost her channels, her monetization.
And Rev needs to lose his because he beats his fucking kids.
Well, okay, so what we're talking about is the flagging, termination, strike parts of the TOS. Now, one thing that we were talking about before you got here is Shani had a video. It's the infamous video that has gone viral, where her and Rev were being verbally abusive to the kids, and then of course sticking the cigarette in the cat's face. But don't.
I didn't see the cigarette in the cat's face, but I've well, you know what? I haven't actually seen any of it. I've only read the articles and what other people have told me around sort of hearsay stuff.
I'm kind of the same here, except I've not read any articles. I'm just kind of taking Widow's words for it.
I'll have to send you the article to read, but basically what we were talking about is now that video was flagged and it was removed, but then she appealed it and got hers back. Frank and Bran both did commentary videos on it and were pointing out what was going on. Those were pulled down, and
can I just pause you there 1 sec, Widows?
Mm-hmm.
Shani is live on Rev's channel doing gameplay stream now.
Isn't that technically that's ban evasion, isn't it?
That's ban evasion.
No, there's a loophole.
Yeah, the Keemstar
If you
defense.
The Keemstar defense, exactly. If you don't own a channel but you appear on it as a host, you're fine. But like I said, Rev needs to be banned because he beats his kids under the YouTube Creator Responsibility Initiative. Your behavior off platform can dictate what happens to you on platform. Therefore, he technically wasn't on platform at the time, but he's a YouTuber that beat up his kids on another person's video. That
I would
needs
hold
to be
back on
called
that
out.
because I'd hold back on any suggestion that he's actually physically abused them, because we don't have any hard proof of that.
Yeah,
But he has
at the end
certainly
of the day, it's
verbally
just
abused them.
we have to say it alleged because we don't really want to end up with any, well, I doubt he could give us any legal troubles, but it's for the sake of morality as well. We can't exactly go flinging false allegations, but
it's an implied truth. That's my defense against any
all right,
defamation
that's
claims.
fine.
Also, when you're an implied public figure, which Rev and Shani are,
Sadly.
that makes it a lot difficult for them to like fire defamation claims in court against people. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's my legal defense.
If there's one thing I want to
Honor.
say, if there's one thing I want to say regarding the fact that they may or may not have been on the platform at the time, a good example of that, being completely thrown out the window is EDP445. He was caught by another YouTuber trying to meet a 13-year-old girl for sex, and it turned out to be a fake. And it was somebody trying to catch him out on his bullshit. And he got caught. The person uploaded it to YouTube, and all of his channels and his social media were banned simply because of the fact that he did such a disgusting act. So, I would put, if Rev actually has, harmed this child, I would put that on a very similar level and say that his channel needs to be banned. I think that's a perfectly, valid thing to happen.
Yeah, I agree, because I know YouTube have often taken a view, if it doesn't happen on their platform, then they're not responsible for it, because they've obviously kept likes of Anision on despite of stuff he's done elsewhere, this, that, and the other. But however you slice it, Rev does have a channel. He is on the platform. He is a loosely termed creator. The fact he was on his partner's stream doesn't really change the fact that he was nevertheless a creator on a platform. And this is the platform he was on when it happened. So, yeah, he should be the one bearing the consequences. Should Shani be terminated for it? That's where it gets a bit iffier, because it was her stream, but he was doing it. There's plenty of reasons why she could be taken down, but was that specifically why she deserves to go down?
That's because it was recorded and shown in the video. That's the main thing there.
If she'd taken action to stop it or done something, she would have had a defense against it or mitigation, say, look, he did it, I didn't have control over it, and maybe there could be an appeal on that ground. But whether or not YouTube have looked beyond that particular instance in terminating the entire channel, I think they probably have, because that's one instance. It would be unusual for them to nuke a channel on the basis of that, unless other points have been highlighted to them. Yeah, there was plenty in that stream alone which would violate the terms on multiple occasions. So they may well have gone through the whole thing and said, that's a strike, that's a strike, that's a strike. Okay, just nuke the channel altogether. Well, if that was the one by itself, I don't think by itself that would really have stood the test. But I think there's enough in there. They've looked at the whole thing and thought, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I also want to preface this by saying that I am no way implying that, Rev is on the same level as like EDP445. I don't know anything that Rev has done. From what I've heard, is pretty bad. And if he is, like, as a lot of people would say, deserving to be terminated from YouTube, then, and if he's done something as heinous as the people in this live room are saying that he has, then yeah, I think it's a perfectly justified punishment to get his channel removed.
So let's put in the fact here, the actual rule itself, from the YouTube Creator Responsibility Initiative. Protecting the YouTube community. Remember that as YouTube creators, you should remain responsible both on and off the platform. If we see that a creator's on and or off platform behavior harms our users, community, employees, or ecosystem, we may take action to protect the community. Beyond the content you upload to YouTube, here are some examples of on and off platform behavior that we may consider to be inappropriate and result in penalties. 1, intending to cause malicious harm to others. 2, participating in abuse or violence, demonstrating cruelty, or participating in fraudulent deceptive behavior leading to real-world harm. Whilst these behaviors are rare, they can cause widespread harm to the YouTube community and potentially damage the trust among creators, users, and advertisers. I think number 2 there, participating in abuse or violence, demonstrating cruelty, would be your bracketed parts that we'd be thinking about there.
I think
Allegedly.
couldn't you even get him under, like, say, like, hypothetically he has done this, could you even get him under number 1 as well, because, you know, causing harm to another person as well?
Intending to cause harm, malicious harm to others, like saying, "Damn kid, I'm gonna whoop your ass," or whatever it was that he said. I mean, it sounds like a fairly direct threat, but
Well, my question is, Stu Dog, now with the videos being taken down in the appeal process. Now, like I said, Shani got her video back. She appealed. She appealed, and they gave it to her. But Frank and Brands, they appealed and were denied. And all they were doing was actually pointing out what was being done. Now, of course, in this case, it's like Hatman was saying earlier. YouTube dropped the ball on that one. But can you kind of explain, like,
I'm not exactly sure what happened there, but from what I've managed to put together, someone had tweeted and retweeted and like done that thing where you put like a tweet inside a tweet to at Team YouTube, but it wasn't the original video. It was either Frank's or Brand's. And they said something like, "How can you allow this abuse to happen on the platform? Rah, rah, rah." They were talking about Shani, but they'd like kind of post insert tweeted Brand's video and like screenshots and pictures from it and like time-stamped bits. And that's what YouTube saw. And they, in their infinite wisdom, your Twitter robot decided, beep, boop, removed. Because they're smart like that.
so
Let's put it lightly.
so but I mean, I'm trying to think how to ask this.
It's boggling your mind as much as it's boggling mine, Mick. Like, why are they not going back to the original channel and dealing with them as well?
Right. Well, I mean, after that happened, and then the whole situation, and like the like it went viral and everything, they finally did the right thing, which was demonetize her. And see, that's the other thing. That's the other thing right there. If she's doing ban evasion by appearing on someone else's channel, and it is Rev's channel, and he is also responsible for the situation that took place.
I think the press should be equally as much calling out him as calling out her. As the I mean, they're going after the cameraman when they should be going after the person being filmed. I mean, yeah, she is equally as guilty and complicit for it. You see the way that she yells and screams not only at people watching her, but at the kids as well, which is something that shouldn't really be on the platform, but they need to look into him.
Now, can you kind of, okay, now, because we were all kind of talking about the false flagging, or the whole flagging process. When they do that and it's sent to, is it strictly just sent to the algorithm? They clearly don't have like actual people reviewing all of these.
So, I mean, I did a video about this a couple of days ago based on it's like a reaction to a video by one of YouTube's own channels called "Can 1,000 Flags Take Down Your Video?"
That's what I was talking about before.
I was a bit skeptical about what the guy there was saying, because if you uploaded something that is like technically really against the guidelines, your video is scanned and scanned and scanned again. And YouTube is now asking me, what is in your video? Is this in it? And asking like yes or no and yes or no. And then it gets scanned by the bot, which compares my answers to its and says, oh yeah, we agree, or oh, we don't agree. So the thing is, though, that these people exclusively live stream. They're avoiding that sort of, well, I don't know. Hatman, Widows, are you guys asked any questions before you start a live stream? Will your live stream contain sex, drugs, and extraterrestrial violence?
When I stream, I'm not either.
No.
Yeah.
No,
So
but,
that's only for
it
if you
can.
upload.
There is a scanning process in play for something, because there's been live streams which get nuked partway through because they're broadcasting copyright material, for instance. I've seen. I mean, one of my streams, it was afterwards, but it got blocked worldwide because I had some disturbed music playing in it.
I have two examples of that.
CKS Mantis versus the WWF.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. Mantis actually got struck down and he couldn't stream for 90 days because he streamed, I believe it was copyrighted material under the WWF.
That's Vince McMahon saying, "You're fired."
Yeah, I forgot what it was. He was doing a clip stream. They were just kind of watching random shit. And you want to watch a WWE clip, and he got caught for copyright. Another example of this scanning thing they've got in play is a YouTuber I watch who mainly streams called Augie RFC. He has a live show called RFC After Hours. And on RFC After Hours, he usually opens and ends the stream with blatantly music that has obviously a copyright label on it, and usually he trims these down and makes it public, obviously to remove any copyright material. But one time he actually got a warning like midstream saying, "Oh shit, I'm playing copyrighted material, you better stop playing this, otherwise we're gonna take the stream offline." That's basically what the notification said. So that's the two examples I can think of in my head of a scanning technique being used.
Well, now, Stu Dog, so it's mostly just like the algorithm. It's not an actual part. I mean, do they actually go back and physically review any of these?
Sometimes.
What I'm thinking is that, so this is a bit of information. The source on this one is a YouTuber by the name of The Musical Antihero. But years ago, YouTube documents were leaked to him, and he went through them. And part of it was the review process. And if you have something that gets taken down and your human reviewer comes along, he's got 20 seconds to watch your thing and 10 seconds to make a decision on it.
Wow.
Now,
Are you serious?
If you're exclusively like live streaming, right, and your live stream that has your controversial 45 seconds is like right in the middle, but this guy comes along and he's like, "Oh look, there's a 1,000,000-hour live stream." He beeps on it like, "Hey guys, welcome back to Mega Mondays with your boy James Charles Station Chungus right here with another epic Fortnite Minecraft sauce." Beep. That looks fine to me. We'll approve that. Stick it back up. You know,
Could you also argue there's timestamps taken into play?
If people put timestamps in the report, yeah. But if people are just like just going onto a video for the sake of it and flagging it and not putting those timestamps in,
yeah, true.
you know, you need the exact down to the second timestamp for your flagging.
And obviously there's human error taken into play there as well, so it can never really be accurate unless it is.
When you're talking about like a mass flagging campaign, is your mob going to like dig through an entire stream to find that? Or like, you know, was the person who said this happened in the first place like smart enough to tell them the exact timestamps?
I think it should be in YouTube's. I don't know if this is obviously like in play, but when it comes to like DMCA takedowns, when it comes to copyright strikes claims and reporting as well, like flagging, I do think there needs to be a system in play where you need to put a certain timestamp to when this alleged, you know, violation of the TOS or violation of the DMCA actually happened, so that it makes it not only easier for the person who has 30 seconds to review it, allegedly, but it just makes it easier in general. So people actually know what you're on about. You don't have to sift through 4 hours of gameplay
I
for
think the
one offensive thing
DMCA
that was
does
said.
have a timestamp. If it's sent in without a timestamp, it's not a valid document. But
All
then
right, fair play. So the
I don't
DMCA
know.
ones probably do, but the flagging ones don't.
Yeah, I don't know if YouTube still acts on an incomplete DMCA document because they're like, oh shit, we can get sued over this. Take it down. Because they're trying to maintain their safe harbor space, whereas they can't send their legal team to court every time a YouTuber has an issue with copyright with another YouTuber, which would theoretically happen billions of times a day.
Yeah.
How many hours of YouTube
Well-
do they say are uploaded every minute?
I can't remember the exact figure.
Well, now this going back to what I was talking about with the first live stream I did from here, and we showed that the countdown video about wrestling, and then there was some archive stuff that we showed. Now I got an email talking about the copyright on it, and it gave me the option to let their algorithm remove it, to like actually go through and edit the video itself and remove that portion.
Yeah.
Stu Dog, what they don't do that anymore, or what was that exactly?
That sounds more like a copyright claim, which is a different process. Copyright claim, what that is the system basically says you did a thing and it belongs to someone else, but what we're going to do is we'll run ads next to it and pay the other person. But if you were monetized and you wanted to be paid for it, you can use the YouTube editor and you can remove that part of the video.
But I mean, but their system basically, like the algorithm just goes through, scans that part, and just takes it out however long it takes.
No, you need to physically go in yourself and do it.
No, it gave me
But
it gave me
No.
option to let-
I can answer this. So it can do it automatically, though. It's very rough, and when I've done it myself, it's basically it's in kind of like a beta phase. Basically, they're testing it at the moment. I don't know if it's been perfected. The last time I had to do it was almost a year ago, but it can automatically do it. You can do it manually if you want to, kind of trust your own hands to do a better work than any YouTube bot could do. But there is the option to remove it automatically. That mainly goes for sound. I don't think they have one for video, but they definitely have one for audio.
Well,
I'm just going through the system. I got a copyright claim recently. Deliberately, I deliberately made a video
I get
about
one
like
I get one every
Copyright.
Friday night when I start streaming, because I deliberately put one. I mean, I don't give a toss what audio track I use for the intro. I know I'm going to get copyright claim, but I figure, well, what the hell? I'm not going to make any money from ad revenue once I start speaking anyway.
Is that from streaming?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've Augie RFC, who I mentioned before, he does pretty much the same thing. I've done it a handful of times.
yeah. I just went into
I feel like
my
I'm get demonetized anyway just by speaking, so might as well just
Existing.
throw that one out the window straight away. It's like, yeah, there you go.
I just went into my email and it had a link that went to my channel and it opened up like a console and it's like channel impact not affected, visibility public, monetization ineligible, video cannot be monetized, actions, dispute. Well, no, I did it deliberately and I said I was doing it deliberately for a reason to showcase the systems in play. So, I mean, I really don't have a defense. But the other option is trim out segment.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I'm kind of wary to click it in case it does just automatically bugger up the video.
It may
No,
fuck
doesn't
up
do
the video.
anything.
But
It doesn't do
I'll
anything.
just
You can if you go to trim out the segment, it gives you the option it'll highlight it. You can either cut it completely or you can mute it, or the big one thing is where it tries to remove the copyrighted track but leave the rest of the audio in.
That's the one that was in beta phase for me when I did mine.
Yeah.
along the side in the actual video itself, there is the video editor, and it's the sort of thing that if I wanted to remove it, I just literally go on myself manually and just cut it,
Yeah,
delete it,
I think it
and then
automatically identifies the timestamp start and finish. So if you like trim it or mute it or whatever, it just literally applies whatever option you go with to that timestamp. So either cut it out completely or whatever. I mean, I've cut stuff out before, like when I've played stuff which is put up like a global ban on the stream because of a song playing. It's like I just cut that section out. Just like, screw it. It's like 3 minutes out of a 2.5, 3 hour live stream. It's like, I don't care. Cut it out.
I mean, I've only ever had claims on streams. I've never had it blocked worldwide. So
Yeah, it's only a few.
I mean,
whoever's behind Disturbed's notorious for it. I think pretty much all of their stuff gets blocked worldwide.
yeah.
There's one or two others that are like that, but yeah.
Did you get popped for when you played that Godsmack song before you went live?
That was just like the claim notifications, like this. This is copyrighted by whoever the recording studio is, and your video is ineligible for ad revenue or shared revenue or whatever the hell it was. But it's like there's no like strike or anything. It just says, yeah, it's claimed by someone else. They're getting data on your video, they're getting your ad revenue, or you're sharing the ad revenue, whatever it might be. Basically, they're getting nothing off me because it's not getting ads usually.
Yeah.
No.
Ads
No,
tend not to run on videos where you drop C-bombs frequently. Can't imagine why.
Interestingly, that was something that I'd looked at recently as well. The workings of the content ID system in regards to monetization. Like I say, we have to go through the thing where we tell them what's in the video and blah, blah, so on and so forth. And that also determines your advertising status. But for channels that are like below the thresholds, the actual company that is claiming the video has to then go through a policy assessment of the video, which I think is quite interesting. Someone has to sit there and watch like someone else's video that they're wanting to claim money off of and tell YouTube, the guy's swearing, the guy's standing out in the middle of a field shooting a gun, firearms and harsh language and stuff like that to basically maybe have YouTube turn around and say, the video is actually ineligible for monetization, so you're actually going to make nothing off of it. Sorry, Universal, Warner, Paramount, Jurassic Park owning company. Lol.
Well, no, Stu Dog, okay? Is it certain words or what you use or whatever that determines the demonetization? Or I mean, the algorithm clearly does that.
I can say that's definite yes.
Yeah, there was a guy a few years back who actually had a list of words who he would go through them and basically upload each word and see what it did to monetization.
Was that during the system they had in play that was like, I forgot what it was. It was like the point system or something. It was like the P something. P score, that's the one. And that was during that situation. There was a big like fucking list of words that like might get you demonetized and words that were green, red, yellow, things like that. That'll like either get your video like outright removed or just ineligible to make money off. And that was interesting, actually. I can't remember what happened. I think they removed the P score, but I can't remember. I think something happened during that situation.
I think they must have removed it because I don't hold back in videos usually. But the Shiny and Rev upload I did the other week, that was flagged initially. It's like that's limited ads or whatever, and I appealed it, and then they gave it to me after that. And I deliberately did not swear in that video, and I muted Shiny swearing as well. Just to see, because I thought, you know what, I'm actually going to try and be a good boy in this one. And so they slapped me anyway, and it's like, hold on, that's not fair. And then they backed down and said, yeah, this is fine.
Yeah.
Now, in all this excitement, I seem to have lost the window where the stream is.
Now,
Oh, wow. I was
Now-
going to post a link to that list in chat.
Stu Dog, your mic dropped a little bit.
That was echoing a bit, but it's fine.
Yeah, because when I clicked on the stream, I heard my voice speaking back to me.
Yes.
Stu from the past talking to Stu from the future. Yeah, I put the list in chat. That's from a channel called... What's the channel called? Andrew Platt, YouTube Analyzed.
All right. So, Widows, you're going to ask a question, right?
And then I interrupted, as usual.
I'm not going to fire you. You're fine.
It's because I'm ill. You can't fire me if I'm ill because I can sue.
Yeah, that's true. So
Technically, I can do the same because I feel like fucking shit today, but...
We need to form a union.
Yeah, from the Widow's Son Sanctum Sanctorum Workers Union. Yeah, fucking Thatcher to shut it down.
wow.
God.
Wow. So now there is an interesting question that I do have, and it does have to do with the monetization. Now, back when Shani became monetized, she was monetized in just like a few days, whereas you have other creators who have to wait like
6
forever
months.
before they hear back. Why was hers so quick? And why? I mean, I don't understand.
The only thing that I can think of is coronavirus. We don't have enough staff, so we just look at 1 or 2 videos and think, yeah, he's fine, and just do it. I was
All hail the
monetized
smiling
overnight.
cow. The smiling cow is here.
Resistance is motile. Yeah, like I say, I was literally monetized overnight. I applied at night, and then the next morning when I woke up, there's an email saying, you can make money now. Congrats.
I mean,
So-
technically, I've already applied. I'm just waiting on approval.
Right, but see, that's the other thing. Like, she got it in a few days, and Wanderer's still waiting.
Well, the thing is, I haven't hit the threshold yet. I still need like 100 more hours of watch time.
Well, I mean, even if you had, I mean, Stu Dog, even if he had
Wanderer,
everything,
I'll do you an absolute solid, and I'll go and watch your old painful video again, mate. You know what? I'm going to sit down and I'll go through like your other.
The entire
Like-
discography.
No, I'm thinking like your sort of Fallout Wanderer lore videos. I'll go through those again.
and Wanderer,
Give you
I
a bit of a
want you to
hand
be
there.
aware that here very soon I will be purchasing Fallout 76, and I will play it, but I will not tell you what I think until I have completed the game.
Wait, 76 on New Vegas?
76 is the online one.
Oh no,
on
New
Windows.
Vegas, New Vegas.
All
I'm
right,
sorry.
all right.
Ah, yes.
New Vegas, that's good. That's good to hear. You almost had me panicking there for a second. I was like, oh god, that's a bad start.
New Vegas, though. That's a good
Oh.
start.
Yes,
Wonderful start.
I'm gonna purchase it soon, and I will play it. And but like I said, I won't tell you what I think until I complete it or I get started in it. Very
We should
good.
do like a review on the show. Like, you go over
I
your
still
overall
haven't-
thoughts.
I still haven't finished Borderlands 2, so
I dare
No.
you that when you play it, that you do a cowboy playing and you play it with like exclusively a 6-gun and a Stetson style hat.
Yeah, you
That's my
cannot
challenge
use
to you.
anything apart from like a 6
Oh,
shooter
Dynamite.
or like
You can throw dynamite.
cowboy repeaters. Or
okay.
like,
So you want me to play Doc in the game? Is basically what you're telling me.
yeah, make Doctor. That actually might be quite easy to do with the character creator.
But
Little handlebar mustache.
make it look like a cross between like Doc and Sam Elliott.
Yeah. I've actually made a quite convincing character before, except I had to have like longer hair than I usually do.
So Stu Dog, like, why if you have everything but they still make you wait? I mean, that doesn't seem. I mean, I don't get it.
So the thing is, before coronavirus, before they're like, oh, we need to send our staff home and be less staffed, the process was taking up to 6 months for some people, which would be a thorough analysis of a channel to go through, like, you know, a fair chunk of videos, depending on channel size.
Right.
Mine getting done overnight, like I say, what I'm thinking is that they've massively done an emergency streamlining of the process during that time. And now that people are starting to get vaccinated and, well, things should be opening up and people are going back into offices again, maybe they're falling back into the older patterns, which were taking quite a while. Sorry, Wanderer, if you don't mind me asking, and you can answer this like by DM if you want, but how long have you been waiting? No, sorry, you said that you didn't have the threshold. Yeah.
I've kind of got it, so it's like ticked, so it'll notify me when I've hit the threshold. But I believe
when that happens, you'll get an email, and then you just go into it and you click a button, and it should just happen literally. Well,
yeah,
between 6 hours to 6 months.
I mean, I hit like 1,000 subscribers back in February now, and I'm about
1.3, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm 1.3K as of like yesterday or something. I'll need to check like how many watch hours I need until I can get monetized. I'm gonna do that right now actually, because I think it'd be worth a look. All right, monetization. There we go. Yeah, so currently I have 3,349 public watch hours, and I need 4,000. So I'm literally almost there. Because public watch hours, they're usually quite easy to rack up, but yeah, it's fine. I guess I should have it by the end of the year.
Couple of streams and a big video release, and you should be fine.
I should be all right. Yeah.
Yeah. Once your project drops, then you'll definitely rack that up.
I'm hoping so. I mean, people seem to like the voice acting thing I did with some of the other people, though it wasn't like anything crazy. I mean, it didn't do too well, but it still did quite well, I'd say. But I mean, I enjoyed making it, and that's what matters, really. I'm not bothered about monetization at the end of the day. I just kind of want to do shit and have fun.
I just want to do a shit and have fun.
That's something that I would say in like 2019.
So, speaking of the project, Wanderer, how's it coming?
So, we're at a bit of a standstill right now, and Sudog will know this, but I'm having to delay the project. Originally,
what? I saw your post.
Yeah, it was originally slated for a June 18th release, but the person who's helping me out with the special effects for the post-credit scene, which is live action, if you didn't know, their mother has recently started showing COVID symptoms, and they cannot get a hold of a test. So she's having to self-isolate for 2 weeks, which means we can't really do the testing until 2 weeks from now, which slates us at like exactly 2 weeks from now is the 19th of June, which already pushes us past the deadline. So my thinking is 30th of June or early July is probably when I'm going to release it. I'm still waiting on Dumpkey for his music. I don't know what that is really, but I'm thinking I'm gonna have a word with him, see how it's going. If it's not going very well, I'll have to improvise, and if it's going well, then all's going well. But yeah, it's no longer going to be a mid-June release. It's kind of going to be a late June to early July release, and that's mainly because obviously COVID is in the way. It depends on the weather. It depends on Dumpkey's music, and that's about it really. Once all of that's done, we can release it and get it on the way. But yeah, it's a bit disappointing, but oh well. It's only going to be like a 2 week delay or something. It's nothing major.
Well, I'm looking for it, even though I don't know jack about Fallout. I'm intrigued to watch it. I really, really am. Hatman, are you working? Are you working on anything right now that you can kind of let us in on?
Not really. I'm just sort of keep my eyes open for any particularly interesting or juicy topics. I think part of it is I kind of want to see how this Rev and Shani thing unfolds. I don't want to get too deep into it because it's been saturated by everybody else. But there's just so little out there that's really catching my attention at the moment.
That's if you want to cover something, then cover it. But I mean, if you don't have any interest in it, then it's not really worth your time.
Exactly.
The spontaneity of the videos is one thing I've been enjoying. I'm just like, okay.
Hatman has uploaded. Wow. Put the
I think I
bunting
kind of
out.
shot myself in the foot by doing the streams as well, because I mean the streams give me a bit more flexibility in terms of what I want to cover without all of the preparation work that goes into it, which is great. It saves that time.
Well,
But
hello,
it kind of
Corgi.
also
Welcome.
burns me out because it's like I don't want to really spend extra time then doing videos. So it's a bit of a catch-22. Unless something really tempting comes along.
Stu Dog, are you having mic problems again?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yo,
Yep.
Nope.
fuck you, Helen.
Turn your hearing aid up.
It's making
like
some odd sounds.
Sounds
It's
like a remix.
No, it sounds like you're like constantly like pulling your mic in and out of the socket, but like only loosely. So like it's not fully in, but it's not fully out, and you're kind of just like
Got you.
slightly
Hold on.
moving about.
I'm just going to disconnect and I'll take my headset apart and put it back together again.
All right, no
Okay, so
worries.
there's maybe a loose connection between. For some reason, it's not an all-in-one unit, but like the wire separates from the headset, which then separates from the microphone. So
Put it
shite
in
gets me
deeper.
connections. Oof, matron.
Just a little bit deeper now.
This might
it
revert
a
back.
little shake.
This might revert back to speaker like onboard headset, like non-headset mic. Jesus fucking words.
Words is hard. Words is hard.
Microphone inside the actual computer itself might start hearing me whilst I dismantle the headset.
Oh god. He's really dismantling, I think. He's taking it apart.
It sounds like it.
Yes, I am literally taking it apart.
So, real quick, I do want to make an announcement. I have been
I should
actually.
actually show me doing this so you guys can see it. It might look amusing.
It might actually make for good content.
I have been looking into tip programs and Cash App. So I'm going to be looking into setting one of those up. And if you want to tip us and enjoy what we do, that'd be awesome of you. If not, you don't have to. But the option will be out there. I'm gonna try to start saving for a new computer soon.
I think that's also worthy to be noted. All of the proceeds are going to go to Widow's son directly, so he can fund his new PC. And we're not going to get a cut, so feel free to send it to him. Yeah, I can hear you. So if
Does
you
it
really want to
still
help a
sound-
brother out and give him a PC, then
Can
go
you
ahead
turn
and
your
donate.
mic up, Stu Dog?
He's fine on my end. Wait,
I'm not
Stu Dog,
sure
say
how.
words. Say words.
Words
All
are
right, yeah, he's
all we
fine.
ever had
There we go.
Yeah, he's fine.
and all we ever fired.
Yeah, as I was saying, all the proceeds are going to go to Widow's son directly.
Oh,
so he
hold
can
on.
fund
It
for a new
says
PC.
automatically adjust mic volume. Should I set that to off and manually do it?
I don't know. I mean, you sound fine for me, so. But yeah, so if you want to really help Widow's son out and get him a new PC, which will in turn also kind of up the show's quality, kind of give us an outlet to kind of get a bit more creative with the way the show looks and the way we operate, then feel free to shoot Widow's son some money whenever you get the time. He'll be setting that up sometime soon.
I'm glad you
Thank you.
clarified that because I was about to shoot Widow's son.
Yeah, we're not getting any money. We're
Wow.
underpaid workers.
Hey,
Another reason for the Widow's Son Sanctum Sanctorum union.
We demand fairer pay.
We demand
So wh-
pay.
We demand pay, full stop. Yeah.
hey, Hatman, you haven't paid me yet for being your first guest. So I mean, come on, turnabout is fair play, sir.
Yeah, but I've been your guest how many times now?
That's true.
About like 23.
Yeah.
Yeah, I owe Hatman back pay.
It's like this whole, like, the UK owing the US like shit tons of like, I don't know, I guess you could call it reimbursements from like past wars, and we just haven't fucking paid it back.
Well,
Yeah, sounds about
I'm
normal.
sure. Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be a long overdue debt. So,
The thing is, like, we keep buying our stuff off of you. You're sending these like massive Texan jet things to Scotland to try and scare the Russians away, and it's not working.
all right. So, Wanderer, we're going to go ahead and give you your time for the week. Now, we didn't get to announce these two last week, but I sent you two records, and I'm looking into the next ones right now. So let's go ahead and let's hear your input for the week.
Alrighty. So, last week, as we said, Widow's Son didn't get to announce, and we were kind of, all caught up doing our own thing last week. It was kind of a blast. But last week, Widow's Son sent me two albums as usual. One of these was by the band A Perfect Circle, which was Met de Noms. And the other album, which is the one I reviewed first, is Perseverance by Hatebreed. Now, I'll go into Hatebreed first, as it was the first one I listened to, and the one I wrote the notes first to. So jumping into the first track, which is called Proven, I honestly wasn't too impressed by the vocals to begin with. However, the guitar break in between the first two verses was pretty nice in my opinion. I really enjoyed that section of the song. It sets a continuing pattern for the song on top of that, and also kind of sets up the rest of the album, and it definitely has its ups and downs in my opinion. Perseverance, the title track, I absolutely adored the guitar work on this one. The drums were awesome, and I gotta say, at this point I was like, maybe I'm just not a fan of the vocals in general, but I definitely wasn't a big fan of the vocals on Perseverance either.
That breaks my heart. Go ahead.
So the next track is You're Never Alone. It sounds extremely similar to the previous two, so I don't really have much else I can add in that aspect. I Will Be Heard. Now, this is one of the more popular ones from what I saw, especially on the Spotify track listings. But I definitely like the lyricism in this track, which is kind of odd because sometimes I pay attention to lyrics, sometimes I don't. But the lyricism in this one was quite nice. The vocals when the chorus hits is a lot better than previously. I obviously thought. Guitar, as always, was really good on this track as well. There's not much I can say. I enjoyed this track. It definitely had its moments, and yeah, that's all I'm going to say on that one. A Call for Blood. It wasn't anything particularly spectacular, but it was definitely, it was a cool track. Nothing really noteworthy. Kind of more of the same. Below the Bottom. I absolutely adored the guitar riff and the drums on this track. Lyricism was also another highlight yet again, though I'm still not sure on the vocal style as of yet. I adored the chorus with that palm muting on the fucking guitar, which I'm a sucker for that type of sound when it comes to his songs. And I thought that particular part of the track was really awesome. We Still Fight. I wasn't really bothered about We Still Fight. I think if I could put my finger on anything, it was probably the tempo that was putting me off, but it was a bit too fast for my liking. Unloved, while sharing a similar speed to the previous track, was executed far better in my opinion. The instrumentation was one of the biggest highlights from this track, and that's all I'm really going to say on that. Blood-Soaked Memories, it seemed a lot slower in the beginning, which is kind of made it stand out among the rest, and I thought that was a great feat. As the song progressed, I'm not gonna lie, I became less of a fan, if I'm honest. It just kind of went on and kind of fizzled out in a way. I kind of lost my interest. Hollow Ground has its ups and downs, but I loved the way it ended. Most of what I have to say is iterated beforehand. Final Prayer wasn't really a big fan of. Smash Your Enemies, I thought it was a really good song. I enjoyed that a lot. Pretty much everything that I've listed before about what I've liked and disliked, it can be applied to Smash Your Enemies. But but in the end, I ended up liking that a lot more than the rest of the songs. Healing to Suffer Again, I absolutely adore the guitar riff on this one. Vocals were actually pleasantly good on this one as well. I enjoyed the vocals a lot more on Healing to Suffer Again than any other track, really. Judgment Strikes, I enjoyed a lot of the elements in this one. The opening was, in my opinion, kind of lacking. But as it goes on, it gets better, especially with the chorus section, which is another thing I've noticed. I feel like Hatebreed are really good at doing choruses that, kind of make you sway your head back and forth a little bit. Kind of close your eyes, really listen to the elements that are going into that song.
Now you have to admit one thing. Now the band is called Hatebreed, but those are some of the most powerful and positive lyrics you will ever hear.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd say some of the lyricism, especially in the early songs, is kind of about pushing on and shit. No matter how hard you're gonna get knocked down. I think I forget which song that was, but that was something I picked up in the lyrics, and that was something I actually kind of appreciated.
It was probably I Will Be Heard.
I think that was the one.
Now, real quick, I actually got to see these guys play live, and it was on the Perseverance tour. And you want to talk about a great band live and on record? That's Hatebreed. They put on an amazing show.
That's good. Where are my notes? There they are. Okay, so the next track is Remain Nameless. There's nothing more I can really say on this one that isn't identical to what I've just said about Judgment Strikes. What I will note is that I absolutely adored the vocals on this one, which was a big change. I feel like as the albums went on, I've kind of adjusted to the vocals a little bit. But yeah, there's nothing really else to say. I really enjoyed Remain Nameless. And finally, we get to the outro, which I thought was a pretty good way to end off the album. Now, overall, my thoughts, this one's going to get a 7 out of 10. I wasn't necessarily feeling this album much, but I found a lot of the stylistic choices hard to adjust to and digest. And that's the reason I've given it a 7 out of 10. However, on top of that, there is a lot of stuff that I thoroughly enjoyed about this album, and particularly in the instrumentation. That guitar was absolutely amazing. It was perfect in almost every other way. So yeah, that's my opinion on Hatebreed.
Did you save any to your playlist?
Quite a few, actually. Let me check. I know for a fact I saved a handful.
The fact that you didn't like the vocals in Perseverance is very heartbreaking, because that build right before all of the guys doing backup vocals all shout Perseverance. I mean, that's powerful, man. That's
now the backing vocals, when they're all chanting and shit like that, that's probably the highlight of any vocal style on the album. That's something I really appreciated and liked. But it was the rest of it. It just kind of sounded like Meshuggah, but just lesser. Really, that's kind of how I could paint it.
I love Meshuggah. Meshuggah is amazing.
Meshuggah's great. I've heard a handful of songs before. My friend Kieran introduced me to them.
All right. Well, real quick, Stu Dog, what I meant to ask you, what videos are you working on coming up? Because you know me, I always tune in.
While he's talking about this, I'm gonna go grab a beer.
I have basically been doing nothing in the last week, apart from sleeping and being in bed. But I do still have the Eugenia Cooney video on the cards, as well as that. I was never going to go anywhere near the topic of Rev and Shani, but being that they've entered the mainstream news with YouTube terms of service stuff, well, they've walked into my domain, so that's going to have to be covered.
You need to get an evil avatar made. You need an angry Stu Dog.
Well, I've got one.
Oh, is that the Borg I've been seeing?
No, I think there's about 10 different expressions going through happiness to sadness to angriness. He's like barking angry.
Showing some teeth.
He literally is. He's like going, "Arr."
I was about to say, or make one that's a rabid stew dog, like an angry rabid stew dog. It's okay. Just don't get near him. He's very angry right now. Just give him his chew toy. He'll be fine.
Yeah, I think that's the two sort of main things that are on the charts. Oh, and the Lord of Patriarchy video as well.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Since we were going to be going over a little bit of TOS and everything today, I invited Anna from Unterhaven to come on with us. Oh yes, and another big shout out to Anna from Unterhaven for coming on last week with us. We had a blast, and we definitely want to have him back on. If you haven't, Stu Dog, can you link Unterhaven in the side chat for everyone, please?
Looking for it. Oh,
definitely go and check them out.
we need to get like a paste document made up where we can just like copy and paste stuff from it.
That's true. That's true too.
Everyone's personalized links in it.
I've still got to look into doing that, but that's a subject for that's a different subject for a different time. But yes, definitely go over to Unterhaven and hit that subscribe button, get the notification bell on for them, show them some love. Great content. I always enjoy watching it. Wow, I think, did Wanderer have to run to the store to get a beer? I mean, if you're coming back,
I'll be back in a second, a chef's second. Yeah.
See, notice this time he didn't give us a time frame. He just said, "I'll be right back." I think he's learning that numbers are important.
Time and space is a made-up construct, yo. Or as Shani says, the moon does not exist.
Oh God, don't get me started on that. Do not get me started on that. Moon is a hologram, my ass.
It's just a light source. What she thinks is a big lamp.
No, it's like the moon in the Truman Show. It's actually a control room. We're all living in the Truman Show is, I think, what she was trying to say. Or that movie may have been a little bit too intelligent for her. So Hat Man, real quick while we're still waiting on Wanderer, I want to point out live on air that I do believe that my team was still above yours on the table this year when the season ended. So there you go.
Apparently.
Had just a little friendly fun between the two of us over our opposing teams. So even though I know you guys beat us, I think twice last year or this year.
I believe we did. Yes.
Okay, I'll give you those two. All right, you get those two at least.
I return with an ice pop and a beer.
Well, at least you didn't give us a time frame this time like you normally do. Give me 2 seconds, and then you come back like 4 minutes later.
You know, as long as I come back, I think that's what counts.
Stu Dog said you're fired.
Yeah. I think that's subjective.
I can't fire him. We're both in the same union.
Now, wait a minute. I did not approve this union, but what the hell?
You don't need to. We just need
Are you fucking Maggie?
We need a chairman, a secretary, and a treasurer. So I guess the Hat Man can be treasurer, Wanderer can be chairman, and I'll be secretary. Boom.
Yeah, I get the big
There we
chair.
go.
I'm the man of chair.
Well, no, wait a minute. We have the man with the hat, and the man with the hat is in charge.
Well, no.
And I thought I
I'll
made him
just
treasurer
delegate
because he'd
and,
walk
you
about
know.
with a briefcase full of money,
You got some money.
like Monopoly Man.
No. The man with the hat is in charge.
But how man get the money?
Yeah, I'm thinking he's a treasurer because, like Monopoly Man, you know, like He walks about with a briefcase full of money. Obviously, I'm the dog.
Okay, so I guess I get.
I guess that makes Wanderer the boat.
I'll just be the president of the company, and you can have the chairman of the board and all that.
So are you saying that my show is a subsidiary of yours?
A branch of Hatman Inc. Yeah.
Wanderer, you have to.
That
You
sounds
need
like a
to.
song.
You need to design us a Hatman Inc. logo.
Well, it's just like a parody of fucking Damage Inc. by Metallica.
I was thinking
No.
more like the song by Gorillaz.
Oh, I'd have to go with Wanderer
Oh,
on
Feel
this
Good
one.
Inc. Feel Good Inc.
Yes.
I'd have to go with Wanderer on this one. It's more like Damage Incorporated. So-
I feel like it sets the mood for the show perfectly, but Feel Good Inc. is a good fucking song.
Actually, both of them would set the tone, basically.
I suppose so.
You play the heavier one to kind of pep everybody up, and then you play the more chill one to get them relaxed and ready to just hang out.
And then I got to make a cover.
You got okay, a cover of what?
Feel Good Inc. It was like, instead of Feel Good, it's like Hatman. And then you could use it in fucking streams. It would be like royalty free.
All right, so let's hear the Perfect Circle album.
Okay. So, allow me to place my ice pop down next to my beer so it stays cold. I don't know why I got one of these. It just tastes good. Either way. So, A Perfect Circle. Met de Noms. I don't know if I'm butchering the name of that, but oh well. It's the name of the album. Feel free to search it up. I'll probably put I'll put the name in the chat, right? So you guys know how to say it and I don't. Yeah. That's how it's spelled. I don't know. I'm probably butchering it, but oh well. So let's begin with The Hollow, which is the first song. The vocals heavily reminded me of a blend between Paul Bearer and Tool, which is something I really enjoyed to note. The guitar sounds kind of weird in the beginning, and I'm not sure how to feel about it just yet. It feels rather kind of flat and tasteless, but obviously that does change as the album goes on. I will say it now. Some of the other guitars, like the acoustic that shows up, just absolutely sounds wonderful. And the faint, lighter toned guitar at the certain parts just sounds amazing too. And I thought this was a great start of the album. Then we got into Magdalena. The bass was really nice on this one. Very noticeable. It was very brooding and dirty as well. It was really fucking nice. Accompanied by some faint ambient-like guitar, which fit the mood perfectly. My Paul Bearer and Tool idea that I brought up with the vocals in the last track really starts to show its face in full force in this track, and it sounds very familiar. And I believe, Widows, you mentioned something before. There is actually a member of Tool in this band.
Yes, the frontman and singer is Maynard James Keenan from Tool.
So I was like pretty much fucking there. I was very close to sussing it out, but it kind of fell flat because I was like, maybe this is the same guy, or maybe it's different. Who knows? Then we get on to Rose. I wasn't a big fan of this one because it starts off with some scuffed acoustic, which is accompanied by some really fucked bass, and I didn't think I liked it all that much. Stylistically, it was kind of a bit weird.
Which song was this?
Rose.
Okay.
Judith, after starting the riff, another guitar appears with like a faded, less loud version of the previous riff, and I like that a lot. The song is pretty damn good. So far, nothing has really topped the first two songs, and this is absolutely a contender. So Judith is a good one. And then we get on to Orestes. Or Orestes. I don't know how to fucking speak.
Words is hard.
Words is hard, indeed. I absolutely love the beautiful melody in the beginning, which continues as a riff throughout the song's bulk. Really calming, almost drowsy and tranquil, accompanied by some really beautiful vocals and drums. I like this track a lot. Then we get on to Three Libras. an odd combination of orchestral instruments with an acoustic guitar in the beginning, which was really odd, but makes for such a wonderful sound. I like when songs do that actually, like with orchestral instruments, with like a blend of something else, or like say it starts off with orchestral and then goes into something else. And I think a prime example of this would be the song "Memories" by Weezer, which appeared on their early 2010s album Hurley. I actually happen to really like that song, and I recommend people listen to it if they haven't already. I wasn't too much of a fan of Sleeping Beauty. I just kind of thought it was kind of Thomas, the acoustic guitar in the beginning reminds me of It Is What It Is by Thundercat, but in guitar form. Obviously, Thundercat, excuse me, is a bassist. So imagine Thundercat on a guitar playing the It Is What It Is, the song, on a guitar. That's pretty much what it felt like and what it sounded like. That is before obviously exploding into something completely different. And I thought it was a pretty alright track. Then we get on to Renholder, which was an odd sounding track. And I actually looked up the name of this track as I wasn't certain of its meaning. And it appears to be a nickname of sorts for one of the band members. Thinking of You, I wasn't too much of a fan of either. Then we got on to Brainer, which I think is how you say that. And I believe that it's a place in Peru somewhere, I believe. Absolutely gorgeous combination to start off with. The bass guitar doing absolutely amazing stuff. Kicks into something a little bit more lively and sounds absolutely fantastic in the process. So that was an amazing song. I think Brain is up there. Over was really odd. It used the kalimba, which is a song that I don't, which is an instrument, sorry, that I don't really expect to show up on an album like this, or especially with, you know, some of the band members actually being a part of Tool. Like, it really threw me off hearing a fucking kalimba of all things. But then it goes into, like, the kalimba merges with the vocals, which then merges with some piano in the future. And the piano, when the piano hits, it starts to form into something quite nice, and I thought it was a good send-off. So overall, I'm going to give this an 8.5 out of 10. It had some really interesting, beautiful elements that at times were executed poorly, but these moments were far outshined by the rest of this album's brilliance. So I thought this was an absolutely amazing listen.
Good. I sent you your next two. They're in your DMs waiting for you.
All right, let me check. Oh, holy shit. All right, so the two albums that I'll be reviewing for next week's episode include a Meshuggah album, which is Destroy, Erase, Improve from 1995, and an Alice in Chains album, which is something that I haven't listened to in a long time, which is MTV. I'm very, very excited to listen to that because it's been a while since I listened to an Alice in Chains album. I think the last one I listened to was their debut album, actually. And before that, it was Dirt, so...
Well, I knew that Q had mentioned that album to you, and I'm just like, yeah, I need to go ahead and send him that.
I can't remember if Q mentioned this before. He probably has because you remember it, but I can't remember it. Oh well. I'll definitely, like, I hope he's here when we review that because I'm interested in what he has to say about what I have to say.
All right. So now let's address something, definitely, since we've been touching on that with the TOS thing. The fact that she is now gone, technically, I'm sorry, it's one, it ranks up there with Jared disappearing. If I have to compare it to something.
I don't know, like, I mean, we've only chopped off one head of the two-headed monster. The other one is Rev. He needs to go.
And who knows, it might end up being like a Hydra.
It's going to be the Keemstar defense from then on until he's addressed. I think that's something that the newspaper article women on Twitter needs to be factoring in as well. That
I think
it's not just Shani; it was him. It's the couple that are both the problem, not just the one side.
I think as well, while it is a Keemstar defense, I don't think Keemstar, sure, he's been offensive in the past and stuff. He used to play a character called DJ Keemstar, and he was very fucking offensive. He said a lot of bad stuff. But that doesn't equate to, obviously, like, allegedly beating your fucking kids, and doing, like, being racist and shit like that. Definitely, I'd say Keemstar's league's better than anything they've done. So even if they do use Keemstar's defense of not owning the channel, I still think they need to be looked into possibly removing Rev's channel.
Yeah. Like I say, it appeared on someone else's channel, but the owner of a channel was the main person involved in it.
Well, that's
Like
the thing, though. Like I said before, EDP got banned, and that wasn't on his channel. So,
yeah, off-platform behavior. That sounds like a sort of predator entrapment poaching kind of thing. The way
It
that you
was.
described it.
Yeah, it was. They're actually called predator poachers, and they're very
Right,
fucking
yeah, okay.
sketchy. They are very sketchy. They're not good people.
Hatman,
I mean-
what's your take on the whole situation?
I don't know. I think it's one of those things where, I mean, she's streaming on Rev's channel right now, but she's silent.
They have
so there's no,
they have the live chat turned off, by the way.
Yeah, so there's no way to prove it's her. As long as she stays quiet, you can't say, "Oh, it's her" or whatever. Rev should be penalized as well because ultimately he was the person who was doing it, and he's been caught doing it before. But unless that's obviously provided to YouTube and flagged accordingly, he gets away with it effectively. But once all this dies down, I think they may well find themselves back anyway.
Has anything been brought up regarding the sort of potential criminal ramifications of the video in question, as well as the criminal ramifications of Shani appearing on someone else's stream and exposing herself?
Well, I don't think the exposing yourself on the stream is really a legal matter per se. It's a platform. It's online. That would potentially again be the channel owner to deal with that. And I think if you get porn bombed, I mean, as the channel, I mean, it's a shitty thing, which obviously falls back on the channel owner, but the channel owner has the tools to deal with it if needs be.
Yeah.
As far as the legal side of it's going, I don't know much about it. Just kind of know through bits and pieces that it's apparently being looked into. It's apparently being dealt with, which is why some people who've been like involved with it from the beginning, like Frank and Drag, whatever, basically telling people to back off, as it were. If you're going to comment, fine, comment, but stop calling the cops, stop filing reports and all this, that, and just, if you comment, fine, comment.
Don't involve
Can't stop
yourself
that.
as a witness in the
But
case,
don't-
basically.
Don't get involved in real life. Effectively, it's being handled, it's being dealt with, and we'll have to see what comes of it. But
I did
one
hear-
interesting thing is if because when G-Man was in the stream, they said CPS had turned up. Now, if that is the case, then G-Man has given them a statement denying anything's going on. He's effectively lied to them to preserve the story concocted by Reverend Cheney. So he's lied to affect. I don't know if CPS is a court service, if it's like an officer of the court or anything like that, or whatever. But anyways, presumably given a statement to them saying, "Oh, Reverend Cheney did nothing wrong." The alternative is they didn't turn up, and it was just a big gaslighting thing. In which case, they just lied to the audience. So either
Yeah,
way,
sort of
it's
placating.
you're all lying. How have you sliced it?
I did remember Burnt Toast on a stream with Jules and a handful of other people. I think Fit and Curvy was there as well. I was watching them, and they were basically giving their opinion on if say there is, like there allegedly is, like a legal involvement in this, then they thought it was highly unlikely that their children was going to get taken or something like that, and legal ramifications was going to happen. I can't remember the exact reasons they gave, but I ended up kind of agreeing with Fit and Kirby in the end. Though
I think it would
if the
probably be a bit
police are
extreme
involved,
Yeah,
sorry,
it would
go
be a
on.
bit extreme to take the kids in the first instance, because I think they'd probably say, well, we'll work with you to address these issues or whatever, and we'll monitor and observe the family unit for 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever it might be. So
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be a case if they'll take them straight off. If that's what anybody's expecting. It's not like Von Helden, who's like literally had them taken away a dozen times before finally losing them for good. I
Yeah.
think that's likely.
Oh,
If they
did-
engage, they'll probably be under supervision for a while. If they don't engage, then they might run the risk of losing them.
Mm.
I was just about to ask, did that decision get handed down for the whole Vaughn thing?
I think it's still pending. I think is it his ex-wife or whatever. I think she's still got custody for now or whatever. I don't know if it's been like deferred for a few months or a few weeks or something, but I think it's officially still ongoing. But I don't think he's going to get him back.
Don't I'm not. Oh, I can't,
I'm not
he.
too privy. I'm not too privy with what Bond's drama is.
Yeah.
I just know he's an idiot.
Well, I mean, my other issue is the fact that they actually did give her monetization. In general, I'm like,
Yeah. Well,
did
that's why she split her channels, and she took all of her like Stone stuff off there and put it on a separate channel. So when they look back at it, they can just glance and think, okay, there's nothing really there. There's no flags. There's no substantiated community strikes, anything like that. So it's the cursory scan. There's nothing untoward. It's like, boom, okay, fine, have monetization. You tick the boxes for everything else.
right? Well, guys, I think we're going to wrap it up a little early for the week. So what we're going to do is we will be back next Saturday at our normal time, full time. Next Saturday, I'll be trying to work on getting someone to come and join us for that. And of course, thank you as always to my YouTube mentor, Sir Hatman, for coming to join us. It's always a pleasure to have him here. And of course, he is always welcome. Stu Dog, you were late, but the union says I can't fire you. So
Sick pay.
okay, you get an extra doggy treat. How about that? Wanderer, and it's always a pleasure to talk to you, my brother. But everybody, we will see you next week, 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. UK time. We will be back, and I will be making an announcement if we have a guest next week. So we will see you then. But until then, my friends, as always, peace be with you.